KBEAR KB04 dual driver hybrid, one dynamic, one balanced armature driver. That's what we're looking at today. What's cracking, audio fans? It's David here from Prime Audio Reviews. Welcome to another review. Here they are. Well, here's the box to be more precise. The design be looking a bit familiar in it. So, for those who are familiar with the Tin Hi-Fi P1, yeah, it's pretty obviously inspired by that, or maybe it's just coincidence, who knows. But anyway, this is the KB04. These are going for about $26, so they're in that super budget area. Nice and affordable. Zinc alloy shells, electroplated for that shiny mirror finish, of course. In terms of build, yeah, they feel nice. Pretty solidly built. The 2-pin connectors are recessed. Got a couple of small vents on the inside in your left and right markings there. Pretty basic looking shell, but they're actually quite comfortable. They feel really good in the hand, nice bit of weight to them. They feel very strong and they're pretty comfortable. The noise isolation is about average. It's not great, it's not terrible. So KBEAR have had a pretty good start to the year already. They came out first with the, well, it might not be the right order, but they came out with the Diamond, which was their $70-ish single dynamic driver IEM. Turned out to be a very good one. Then I reviewed their Night, which is a really affordable little earbud. And man, that surprised me because that sounds dang good. And now we've got these. Spoiler alert, these surprised me as well. So with that segue, let's move on to the sound. The overall presentation, look, honestly, the easiest way for me to describe these would be the blonde BL03 with added treble. That's basically what you're getting here. Well, no, that's in a nutshell what you're getting, but it's a lot more complicated than that. So we'll start with the bass. The bass is similar in quantity to the blonde. Wait, I'll just pull them out. Crappy cable and all, stock cable. Here they are, the IEM that drove people wild in 2019 and continues to do so today. The blonde BL03, fantastic, just unreal. Okay, now we can talk about the sound. So in terms of bass quantity, they're very similar to these two pairs, but they don't sound the same. The KB03 here has a more defined leading edge on bass notes, kick drums and bass guitars, double bass, things like that. So it's a bit more defined, it has a little bit more texture, and it's a little bit faster overall. It's a faster sounding bass. It's north of neutral, but it's not big. It's not a big thumpy bass at all. It's very well controlled. I wouldn't quite call it conservative levels of bass, but it's definitely just boosted slightly above neutral. The mid-range it's really got excellent clarity, very nice vocal articulation, good instrument separation. It's a very clean sounding mid-range. It's quite forward. Well, the stage position is quite forward despite them having a V-shaped signature. But vocals sound great. Female vocals are more prominent on these than male vocals, but both sound pretty good. Yeah, so very clean throughout the mid-range. Good resolution, good detail. Pretty impressive stuff. And comparatively, in the mid-range, the BL03 has a little bit more fullness in the mid-range, Its mids are a little bit more forward in the mix as well, but they don't have the clarity that the KB04 has. Did I call it the KB03 before? Just in case I did, this is the KB04. I've caught myself making that mistake before when I was writing the review. Link in the description, of course. Yeah, so the blonde here sounds, the mid-range actually sounds slightly veiled comparatively, but it does sound very natural and very musical, very easygoing. Now, as we move into the upper mid-range and the treble area, that is where the KB04 starts to lift in its frequency response. So up until the core mid-range, they're pretty similar, with the blonde just being a little more full, a little bit more body there. But as we move up in the spectrum, these start to become more accentuated. I will throw up the measurements here, and as you can see, from about 3 kilohertz on, the treble is quite boosted on these. Fortunately, it doesn't make the overall tonality particularly bright. I would still consider these a warm sounding IEM with a nice meaty low end, but that extra upper mid range and that treble emphasis does a few things. For one, it lifts that veil out of the mid-range and makes the mids really clear sounding and very clean. In addition to that, the attack on percussion instruments is sharper. That's actually where the leading edge on the bass actually is a result of the emphasized treble on these. So you get that snappier kick drum, things like snare drums, you get that real crack going on. That's all due to the treble, and along with the clarity and along with better vocal articulation as well. But there are some caveats that come with that extra treble, and of course you know where I'm going with this. That would be the occasional harshness or shrillness and some sibilance every now and then. I say every now and then because it doesn't crop up all that often. For the most part, I can listen to these and I'm not a fan of brightness, and I hate sibilance. I'm particularly not a fan of sibilance at all, but it crops up so rarely here, hardly ever happens. It's really not a problem. If I had to choose between these two, I would still take the blonde because they do sound more natural. They're more easygoing. You just get immersed into the music more, whereas these are a little bit more demanding on the listener. Those occasional snare drums that are sort of really cracking in your ear can be a little fatiguing, and on some songs like Eminem's Legacy, I don't have it set up here, but Eminem's Legacy, it is a sort of a dry recording that sounds kind of, it's a lean mastered track on any transducer, but particularly so on these. The female vocals in particular can be a little sibilant. Surprisingly, not on the S's, but on the D's and T's. I found myself wincing. Normally, if a song comes on that I'm particularly fond of, I'll bump it up a couple of notches on the volume. But with these, I would put it back down pretty quickly because, yeah, they can get a little bit sharp sometimes. But overall, for $26, man, I would put these up there, probably on par with the blondes. Like, technically, they're very good. And if you are a fan of a bit more shimmer and treble up top, you might actually prefer these over the blonde. And if you were not a fan of the mid bass, if you thought the mid bass sounded a little bit boomy or a little bit slow on these, then this one, the KB04, might be the one that suits you better. So going to keep this nice and short. Stay tuned. That giveaway, the giveaway for the Alpha Delta KS3 is still ongoing. It ends on the 9th of April, I think. So 3 or 4 more days. Get onto it if you want a chance of winning these. They're worth 150 bucks. Worldwide, doesn't matter where you are, you can enter. So which one of these do you think you would prefer, or have you actually heard both already? Let me know in the comments. And on top of that, let me know what you are listening to while you're locked down. I'm not going to go into that topic, man, because I'm fucking bored. I'm sick of hearing of it already myself, and I'm sure you don't want to hear more about it. But just tell me what you're listening to while you're locked down, because it's a great time to enjoy some good music. And anything else, just comment about friggin' anything. It doesn't matter. So do I recommend these? Yes, I do. Very good. Considering they're 26 bucks, man. Look at that build quality. And they do sound good. They're up there with the best sub 30 IMs at the moment. So that's it, guys. If you like this video, hit that like button, Parfam audiophile style. And until the next one, see you later.